right, let me see. Let me check if my camera is working. No. Small moment, guys. Okay. Anyway, thank you all for being here. It's me, Aridoso. Just call me Rashid. If you're Italian, call me Emiliano. And please hit the like button, share this live stream, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel. I'm your anthropologist and sociologist over here. If you want to book a session with me, a one-on-one consultation, please check the fees and the instructions in the description box below. You can check my novels on Amazon, Barnes& Noble, Walmart, search wherever you can find them online to purchase them. Please donate the links below, everyone. It will help me out very much this time. Thank you very much. And also, or actually, above all, I want you to listen well to this live stream, pay close attention, and apply this knowledge in your life to glorify the Heavenly Father. All right, so also pray afterwards of you listen to this live stream. Thank you. Hold on. No, that's the wrong. Okay, USB camera. Where is it? Yes, that's correct. That's the right camera and camera over here. You should be able to see me clearly. Well, the quality is good. I'm happy with that. All right, before I continue, how are you all doing today? Or tonight for you? Because some of you are in a time zone now where it's night. How are you all doing today? Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks for being in, Christopher. All right. Let us go to some scriptures, please, because I'm going to the scriptures which will give you a biblical example to show you when people getting along too well is bad news. Now, don't get me wrong over here. It's healthy, safe, and recommend when people get along. Getting along is important for there to be harmony, for there to be mental health in the public, and for things to be safe. Okay? So, getting along is important. Everyone in the world recognizes this, how important it is to get along. If people don't get along, they have a dark atmosphere, very heavy, very intense. People are going to get sick. You're going to have mental health issues, domestic violence, all other stuff. Yes, you're going to have physical health issues also when people don't come get along. Because we human beings are made to get along. So getting along is important. However, sometimes people getting along, it's bad news. Doesn't mean now that it's okay for there to be strife. It's okay for there to be um, violence, all that. No, none of that is okay. The best thing sometimes to do is just to peacefully avoid certain people. Because getting along is not always a good idea. Okay, now I'm going to, again, go to scripture with you. By the way, can you all hear me clearly? Let me check on my mobile phone very quick, um, very quickly to see how it's playing out. There's an update about Iran. Oh, I'll check that much later. Hold on. Okay, let me see. Okay, good. You should be able to hear me clearly. Okay, that's good. I just checked it on my phone right over here. Now, okay. If it's ending with the sound, please let me know in the live chat, please, on time. Thank you. Okay. Here is the screen sharing. Hold on. Okay, that's a screen over there. These are news articles about suspicious packages were found and the police start investigation. Let's check this one. Suspicious package prompts police response in Middle River. Oh, I don't want to, what is all of this, y'all? So, as a suspicious package found in Mill River Road prompted a police investigation on Saturday, as authorities urged residents to steer clear of the area. Baltimore County Police confirmed that their hazardous device team has been called to the 900 block of Middle River Road to assess the situation. Authorities note Middle River Road between Bird River Road and Pulaski River Drive is closed as of 2:45 p.m. on July 12th. Police announced that the roadways have been reopened and the package is not considered a threat to the public. Okay, again, let's go back. Let me do one more time. Let me go over here. Yeah. All clear given of suspicious package reported near Arch Center in Miami. Miami police gave the all clear after suspicious package was reported in Miami. Okay, so again, there was a suspicious package over there. Just one more. For some reason, websites want you to verify you're a human being. Well, of course I'm human, y'all. Suspicious package locked down Wilmington neighborhood. At approximately 2:20 p.m., officers were dispatched to a residence in the 900 blocks of Buchanan St. for a report of a suspicious item. Upon arrival, officers were advised by family members on scene they had located what they believed may be a grenade while cleaning out an area of the garage. So that was the whole situation. Anyway, it was resolved well. What I'm saying over here is that, look, suspicious packages or suspicious mail is when you receive something, a physical package, but you doubt whether or not it's safe. Because sometimes criminals can implant bombs into a package. Let's say an Amazon driver or a UPS driver hands you a package for you. You know who it is. You go, you open it, and when you open it, boom, it explodes. You're either injured, you lost a hand or an arm, or you lost other body parts, and you're crippled for life. You're empty for life, or you may not have any missing body parts, but you're severely injured, or you may be dead, or maybe whole building blow up also, or maybe you get the package and like an envelope, I mean, and you open it and some powder comes out of it that makes you sick. That's a biological warfare, by the way. So suspicious packages, these things happen. Okay. Now it's not always that if you receive a package that seems a bit off, there's something dangerous going on, but you're advised to inform the authorities about it when it happens, and yeah, rightfully so, because suspicious packages are bad news. And I remember after 9/11, you had this 7/7 attack in London in 2005, a terror attack, and after that in Europe, including the Netherlands at the time where I was residing, there was this big fear of suspicious packages. One time, I kid you not, I was in the train. The train was, the train wagon I was in was kind of empty. Actually, where I was completely empty. So I left my bag there and went to the toilet on the train very quickly. I only had to pee, so it didn't take that long. When I came back, one of the train employees told me, "Sir, please don't leave your bag behind like this. Because due to the terror threats right now in the world, people may think it's a bomb. And listen, if you see a bag of someone in a place and we don't know whose it is, we are forced to call in the police and do all of that." I said, "Okay, thank you, sir. I'll watch out next time." I thought to myself, what type of crap is this? I thought it was pure nonsense. However, later I realized, the possibility that the bomb is left in a handbag or a backpack in a train and explodes, that possibility is there, but is it probable? Likely not. But hey, people are afraid, people are terrified. Now that mania kind of calmed down afterwards, especially after the COVID pandemic, but in some places in the world it's still ongoing. Yeah, it actually became a suspicious package mania in the world. I don't know if some of you witnessed this, but hey, it was a big thing over here, y'all. But anyway, the reason I called this live stream suspicious package is because of the following. A package isn't just something physical that you get delivered to you, whether it's an envelope or a box with items in it. A package has content in it, at least it should. If an Amazon driver or a UPS driver or a DHL driver comes to your house to deliver a package, that box has something in it, and the box is there to keep the in content safe. If you ordered, for example, a laptop on Amazon and it's delivered to you, they don't just come to your house and say, "Here's the laptop." No, the laptop itself is in a box because it's a brand new laptop. Then the box of laptop itself is also put in a package, sometimes with hard foam in it. Why? To make sure that when the driver is driving on the road, maybe there's a little turbulence in the car and the package goes back and forth due to the turbulence. If that happens, the content may be damaged. So to protect the content, they would put it um, in an extra box. So the box you get contains the laptop box with the new laptop in it. Maybe you bought some clothes online on eBay or wherever, and now a UPS driver delivers the order to you. It arrives in a package, y'all. The box contains the content. Now, is it possible for you to receive a box with nothing in it? That's possible, but that's likely a prank or someone's messing with you. So a package refers to content that's concealed. Even an envelope is also a package, but it's not the same as a box. In an envelope, you have paper with with letters printed on it or written on it or with pictures on it. So the envelope is not just about, it's what's in the envelope, the contents. And the envelope is there to make sure the content is not read by those unauthorized. If, for example, the IRS or the tax authorities of your country send you a letter that you owe some taxes, they don't want everyone to be able to read that. So they put the actual letter in an envelope. The envelope is the package that keeps the content actually as concealed from others and make sure it arrives at your address. So this is clear about packages. Now, let's use the word package now symbolically for daily life. Every situation you're in is a package. Let me say it one more time. Every situation you're in is a package. If you're at a wedding, for example, what is the content of the wedding? The couple who vows to stay loyal to each other sexually, to contribute to community, to sexual stability to the community. That's what the wedding is all about. So the wedding outfits of the attendees, the wedding dress of the bride, the wedding suit of the groom, and also the master of ceremony over there, the musicians, the let me say the banquet with food over there. All of that is a package. And what is all of that the Quran uh, covering, namely the vow of sexual stability is ought to be done by the couple. If you go to a graduation ceremony of high school, for example, let's say there's some pupils who graduate high school, or here in Europe, secondary education. The platform, uh, the let's say the superintendent of the school, everyone wearing those graduation outfits. All that is the Quran. What are they highlighting? That these teenagers are now going to enter the quote unquote real world, and this transition of them being guarded by their parents to them now being adults participating in society to the full. So that is the event that the Quran it's containing. So the actual event is the transition of these pupils into actual participants of society. Now, what if you graduate college or university? The ceremony that you receive the diploma, wearing the graduation outfit, you giving a speech, all that is all part of it. To understand, okay, you could finish the program, you got a diploma. It means we entrust you with this knowledge. Please use knowledge wisely in society. That's what the graduation at university or college is all about. Thing is, you've been trained in some discipline and some knowledge, and now you can either use it for the bad, for good or for worse. They instill in you psychologically to use it for good. That's why they celebrate you graduating, so that will be a hold on your mind in which you will keep considering the community. Okay, when a soldier comes back from a war as a veteran, and they give him medals. Why are they giving soldiers medals when they come back from war? Why? To prevent the soldier, who's now a veteran, from realizing the hoax of war itself and not taking out on society that let them do this or to send them to war. So by honoring the veterans with medals and honors, they now are kind of I want to say blackmail, but they kind of uh, are push them to say, okay, let's go for revenge. Let's forget about all that happened, and please don't take it out on society. That's what it comes down to. They're actually kind of bribing them that way. So I hope you understand that situations itself are a package to conceal or to guard an event that goes on. Is this clear to you all? Let me know in the live chat. If I need to elaborate a bit more, I'll do, but let me know. Is this clear to you all? That a situation itself is a package that contains an event that goes on. Now, get this. A situation can contain an event that is directly man-made, but it also contain an event that's a result of, you know, indirect human activity. For example, let's say someone has been neglected for a while by the community, and that individual has a mental breakdown in public. Now, an individual did not intend for mental breakdown, something that happens to them because, hey, they crash mentally. But everyone around thinking, what goes on? They call the cops. What's going on over here? That has that event, namely individual have a mental breakdown, but that mental breakdown, that individual is showing something about the community, namely their neglect. But if you're so focused on the situation, you think, oh my God, this guy is losing his mind. This guy is screaming all over the place, breaking stuff, jumping in front of cars. What's wrong with this guy? Please help. If you focus on the situation, you will not notice the event really. An event is this a human being that's losing it in out there. How did this happen like that? So you have the situation, and then you have the event within the situation. Too often, we tend to focus on the situation, but we don't look beyond the situation. What's the event happening over here? Now, a circumstance is just a momentary activity. So, circumstance is something happening, okay? Like a car crash, or a plane went down, or you got fired. A situation is all around the circumstance or circumstances. So the difference between a circumstance and an event is a circumstance is something happening. An event is why is this circumstance happening? What is the human involvement or human action in action led to the circumstance happening? So event is the human factor that caused this circumstance, and situations everything around the circumstance. All right? Just want to explain that well to you. Now, when, for example, there's an argument between neighbors, let's say neighbors don't get along. There's a big fight between Now you have neighbors coming to intervene, saying, okay, there's been a big fight between the two of you. What goes on? And the neighbors in one residence says, "Oh, those people play loud music all the time, even when we're asleep, blah blah blah, and all that." Then other people say, "We don't play music of that often loud, and it's never after 10 p.m. So it's according to law, that's perfectly fine." And so now it came out that people, neighbors A, were overreacting. Now they ask neighbors B, why do you think the other people are upset with you, your neighbors? Well, people complain about the fence in the backyard, and then when they look at it, the fence does not overstep anyone's property. So eventually, the police gets involved, thinking, what's going on with these neighbors over here? People live in that house over there and the house next to it. What goes on? Then an inspector tells the scout, listen, people in house A over there complain about loud music from house B, but it's already proved that people in house B are not playing loud music after 10 p.m. And it's true that people from house A used to spill the people from house B, but the fence does not overstep the private property of people from house A. So it's a back and forth when people from house A keeps complaining with people from house B. Okay, so we know now that the root of the problem is people from house A and each against people from house B. So what we need to look at is what is it really that upsets people from house A but people from house B? So let's look at the family compilation. They're both married couples with children, so that's similar. They're both middle class people with similar income. But here's the catch. Are the marriages happy? People from house B are reported to have a happy marriage. People from house A, there are rumors that one spouse is cheating and all of that. And then the inspector says this is what goes on. People in house A are internally not getting along because the spouses have marital problems and the children are affected by it. So all this net tension in that house is actually quite unhealthy. So them now being upset with their neighbors forms an outlet for the internal tension. That's what people from house B are thinking. What is the problem? Why are there so much arguments? So what the inspector told them, listen, sometimes it's not what's there that's the issue, it's what's not there. You guys were looking at what's the actual transgression over here, or is there trespassing happening? You were looking for an actual crime or disturbance. Because if you saw a crime or if you record a disturbance, you can say, okay, that's the issue. That's why there's a fight between the neighbors. But the thing is, there's contention between the neighbors, but it's not. But you can't clearly see the the reason why it is. So in this case, you look at what's not there. And this kind of how you have to look at situations also in life. It's not always what's there that you need to pay attention. So it's what's missing. Now, let's go now to scripture, which you. Okay. Okay. This is about okay, let me read. Second Kings chapter 70, verse 1 to 6. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hosea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. And he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hosea became a servant and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hosea, for he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Syria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Syria shut him up and bound him in prison. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land, and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria, and placed them in Hala and in Habor by the river Gozan, in the cities of the Medes. Okay, and when you look at the Assyrian Empire, around the time that the kingdom of Israel in the north was abolished by the emperor of Assyria. Um, this is how the Assyrian Empire was in green over here. It was a world power back then. Egypt was already in decline back then as a world as a each was a regional power, not a world power. And later, um, the another emperor of Syria made effort to conquer Judah, so that from there you could go on to Egypt, they have full control of Egypt. But here's the thing: they does not work out. Eventually, for 10 years, Egypt was occupied by Syria. But then, when Assyria declined, you still had a Assyrian influence over Egypt, but Egypt was not part of the Assyrian Empire anymore. Okay, so this situation over here was a very brief one. Okay, Judah over here, small country. Let's read about that. This is how the Heavenly Father delivered Judah from the Assyrian Empire. 2 Kings 19, chapter 30, chapter 19, verse 32 and 37. Okay, let's read. Therefore, thus said the Lord concerning the king of Assyria: He shall not come into the city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into the city, said the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Syrians on 185,000. That's 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. Man, that's a lot of dead corpses, y'all. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshipping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer, his son, smote him with the sword, and he escaped into the land of Armenia. And Asarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead. You can see Nineveh was where's Nineveh again? Nineveh is over here. They killed their father, fled to the land from Armenia, and not the son, none of the brothers took over the throne. Judah was rescued. Okay? Now let's read further now. This happened right after Judah was delivered miraculously. Okay? In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. Well, no clear explanation given why he became sick. However, based on situation, his country was about to be abolished. He and his royal house was about to be taken captive or likely killed or tortured for killing all of that. His population was about to be massacred. There was a genocide about to happen. Population displaced, all that. So it was a very stressful time for him. Anyway, he became sick. And the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, Thus said the Lord, set that house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and I have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. And it came to pass, after Isaiah was gone out in the middle of the court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, Thus said the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up unto the house of the Lord, and I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and the city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. And Isaiah said, Take a lump of figs. And they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, What shall be the sign that the Lord will heal me, that I shall go up unto the house of the Lord the third day? Now, this is a bit weird over here. If the prophet came to your house to inform that the Lord had to tell you about to die, so make sure you arrange things for the inheritance for your descendants and all that. You pray to God and you're crying, you're begging the Lord to heal you. And right before the prophet leaves the property, God sends him back, saying you're going to live, you're going to go to the house of the Lord, and you'll add 15 years to your life. That should be enough. Why ask for a sign? 9. And Isaiah said, this sign shall thou have of the Lord, that the Lord will do the thing that he had spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or go back 10 degrees? And Isaiah answered, it is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. Nay, but let the shadow go return backward 10 degrees. And Isaiah the prophet cried to the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. Now, understand this. This miracle meant that daytime lasted longer. So that day, instead of 24 hours, it lasted longer. Well, actually, that day and night, that cycle should last 24 hours, but it lasted longer for a few hours. So a few hours were added to the day. Okay, it was a miracle. But this miracle shouldn't have happened. First of all, this miracle would cause disruptions in a lot of weather cycles, all of that. Imagine you're working in a field and by afternoon you're off, and not often takes a few hours longer. Anyway, this happened. God did this to the prophet Isaiah to show his power to the king and to the people. But this shouldn't have been needed. The word alone should have been sufficient. But anyway, at that time, Berodach Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and a press unto Hezekiah, for he heard that Hezekiah had been sick. Okay. Now understand, after the most of the military of the Syrian emperor was killed by the holy angelic being, there was still um, and after the Assyrian emperor was killed by his own sons, and another son took over the throne, there was still this threat that they want to take over and wipe out Judah. So there was still an ongoing threat, even though the threat was stalled for because the military was destroyed. Okay, now but think about it. Now you have the king of Babylon. Okay, let's read it one more time. Okay, the king of Babylon sent letters and a press unto Hezekiah, for he had heard that Hezekiah has been sick. So Hezekiah being sick became world news, and also he had recovered. So even his recovery became news. They even reached all the way to Babylonian court. Okay, let me read further first. 13. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them. So there were ambassadors from Babylon, the kingdom of Babylonia, over there. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them and showed them all the house of his precious things, the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious ointment, and all the house of his armor, so all his military capacity, and all that was found in his treasures, so all the financial resources. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion that Hezekiah shewed them not. That means that at this time, the main threat from Syria was already gone. Because remember, he got sick and he recovered. So again, this was after the former emperor of Assyria had to turn back because most of the military was killed. It was still a military threat against Judah, but it was far less. So he was confident enough to show all the wealth and military ability of his homeland. Even though it was not the military ability that saved him, it was the Lord. But anyway, verse 14. Then came Isaiah the prophet unto King Hezekiah and said unto him, what said these men, and from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, they are come from a far country, even from Babylon. Okay, why don't you say they're from Babylon, Babylonian stuff? Okay. So the king tried to dodge the question. 15. And he said, what have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, all the things that are in mine house they have seen. There's nothing among my treasures that I have not shewed them. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, hear the word of the Lord. Behold, the days come that all is in thine house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in store unto this day shall be carried into Babylon. None shall be left, said the Lord. And of thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away, and they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. Then said Hezekiah unto Isaiah, good is the word of the Lord which I have spoken. And he said, is it not good if peace and truth be in my days? What's the big problem over here? Okay, let me show it towards you. This became the Babylonian Empire, the New Babylonian Empire, during the time of prophet Jeremiah, that actually abolished the kingdom of Judah eventually by laying siege to Jerusalem twice. Okay, now with Babylon the capital. Let's go like 100. I know it's 120 on the 50 years. Let's go like a little bit more than a century before that. Okay, look at this. Babylon was part of the Syrian Empire. So yes, you had the king of uh, Assyria, that was also the emperor of the Assyrian Empire. So there were other kingdoms under the king of Assyria, that's why he was the emperor. Okay, one of these client kingdoms was Babylon. So Babylon was Assyrian politically. So why was the king of Babylon sending an embassy to Jerusalem, even though Babylon was a constituent of Assyria subjected to Nineveh? Only the highest authority of the land can send a diplomatic mission. Same with Rome. When the Roman Empire ruled, there were client kingdoms. None of the client kingdoms were allowed to have their own foreign policy. The foreign policy became the responsibility of Rome. But that's how, even before that, you had client kingdoms in ancient times. So why was a client kingdom sending an embassy to a nation that was free from Assyrian rule? So a client kingdom who was a constituent of Assyria on Assyrian rule sent an embassy, which were not authorized to do, to a nation that was free from Assyrian rule. What's going on over here? That situation alone was suspicious. But for some reason, Hezekiah got so comfortable that he showed everything he had in his house. And guess what? The Assyrian Empire later on in history declined, and the Babylonians, when the Assyrian Empire was declining, took over the assets of the Assyrian Empire and established the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Let's see over here. And when established this, they looted all of Jerusalem and the kingdom of Judah. Now, this whole Babylonian Empire over here, it happened, it wasn't only caused by Hezekiah's actions, but this actually contributes a lot. Because think about it. You have this nation called Babylonia that's on Assyrian rule. They want to be free from Assyrian rule, but they did not have the ability to free themselves from Assyrian rule. Judah over here, a tiny country, was able to free themselves from Assyrian rule completely. This shocked the world. That kingdom sake recovered also. So not only do they have military freedom from Assyria, political freedom, the king of the country also has health. So now you have this big nation over here, Babylonia, that's looking at small nation Judah thinking, who are these people? How the hell can they shut down the Syrian Empire? Even Egypt is trembling at the cemetery. How come small Judah there was able to do this? So it got the attention from the people of Babylon, and that's why the king of Babylon sent an embassy, even though it was not authorized to do so. It was perceived as treason. It was even risky to do that. So when Hezekiah was so kind of showed him everything, those ambassadors were really spies who went back to Babylon and reported all the wealth and riches of Judah. And this further triggered jealousy and envy in the population. And later, when Assyria was declining, they thought, hey, we're taking over the Assyrian Empire right now. And now, as the Babylonian Empire, we're going to Judah right now and take everything. More than a century before, when those Babylonian bastards arrived in Jerusalem, King Assyria sent them back saying, listen, aren't you part of the Assyrian Empire that's at war against us still? Why are you over here? Do you want to be? Did you just overthrow Assyrian rule? Are you free from Assyrian rule? If not, go back. That would be the wise thing to do, because the whole situation was suspicious, but Hezekiah didn't see it, and because of that, he now contributed to future. All right. So what I'm saying here is the following: when a situation itself doesn't match the event that goes on, the situation is the package. What goes on, the event, is actually already about. If the situation doesn't match what goes on, that means that there's danger there, and it means that you need to watch out. So there's some foul play going on over here, or foul play unfolding. Imagine now you're invited to a birthday party. Okay, the thing is, the individual that invited you is someone you knew from high school. So you still have good contact with them, not that much, but you still have good terms with them. But the thing is, that individual lives in the same neighborhood where you both grew up, and many people from that neighborhood have an issue against you. So is you being invited to a birthday party something bad? No, it's an honor to be invited to a birthday party. But here's the thing: the birthday party takes place in the same neighborhood where a lot of people have an issue against you. So why is this individual who grew up with you inviting you to a birthday party in a neighborhood where a lot of people have an issue against you? And it's not this individual's not aware of it. This individual is aware that a lot of people in the neighborhood don't like you, have an issue against you. So why is he inviting you to a birthday party in the same area where a lot of people don't like you? That alone is a suspicious package over there. And now you arrive at the location where the birthday party is and see that a lot of people with issue against you are also there. What do? You turn away, you leave immediately. If you stay, some of these people don't like you, may attack you or stab you or later try to kidnap you, whatever. Something bad may go down. Let's say now you invite to a birthday party and just go to the birthday party because you're honored to be invited. You go there, now you go missing. And the police is looking for you. Then you find your dead body somewhere. Then the detectives look into the case of Elijah Donovan. This guy was invited to a birthday party in his hometown where a lot of people didn't like him, and Envision invited him was good buddies with people that disliked him. So how come the inviter was on good terms with both the people that disliked the victim and it was good terms with the victims too? What goes on over here? This doesn't add up. Or let me give another example. Let's say you have a recruiter reaching out to you um, for a job offer, and you're invited to go to a location in person to the job interview. But the location is a bit remote near the highway. But the actual job position itself is something customer service that does require you to be in some building near the highway. How many of you would go to the job interview in person? How many of you would go? Let me give the example and the question again. A recruiter approaches you through email saying that it's a job offer. And then you call with the recruiter. And the recruiter says, well, your email was still in a listing from your previous employer and all that. So he explained how you got your email and said, hey, there's a job offer. I think it's you needed a job because you needed more cash. And it's a customer service, something you are familiar with. And but now you have to go to a job interview in person at their headquarters, which is in a remote building near the highway. But the job itself is something that has nothing to do with being in an office building, just customer service you could do from home or at some business somewhere. So the business itself you were working for is not even located in that building near the highway. How many of you would show up at a job interview near the highway in a remote building? How many of you would go there? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know. How many of you would show up? Now, assessing the situation, should you show up? A recruiter approaches you. There's a stranger with a job offer. First of all, how do they know you need a job at the moment? Maybe if you put on LinkedIn looking for work, okay, that may explain it that they saw that. But if you haven't shown on any social media and you haven't even been vocal about you needing a job, how does individual know you need a job? Maybe they spontaneously saw your email, thought, let me reach out, maybe the guy needs a job. But the timing, even if the individual was not aware you needed a job, the timing is suspicious. Why this approach me right now? And why they offer me a job as a customer service, but I still need to go in an actual job interview in a remote building near a highway? Why can't you do a job interview virtually? Or want to go to the actual business itself where I'll be working? I just happened to me one time, and I didn't go to the job interview. I found another job afterwards in another place because I thought to myself, this situation is a bit weird. But here's the thing: how many people will say, "Oh, I was looking for a job. Finally, a recruiter reached out to me. Oh, the job is good. It fits my experiences. Oh, just to go to a job interview over there at the highway. Yeah, it's a bit weird. And to go to this building at the highway. Well, let me just go. I mean, the job pays well, $20 an hour, and I really need a job right now. I need to pay bills, so let me show up." And that's how a lot of people get human trafficked. Okay, that's why a lot of people get kidnapped, killed, their organs harvested. Also, this is why people end up being taken captive, and they end up in sex trafficking and all of that. Or sometimes you're just killed because people try to take you out, and that's what's the way they did it. Listen, is it 100% proven that this job offer is a trap? No. It could be that this recruitment office is still located in this old building because that's all they could afford. Maybe the situation is not a trap at all. However, it looks bad. On the fact alone, it looks bad means you need to look into it. And let me tell you, if they insist you need to come to the location to a job interview, even though they're the ones who reach out to you. It's not you that applied for the job. And even if you were the one applying for the job, why they insist you coming in person? Can't see your resume, can't talk to you online or to the phone and realize whether you're a match or not? If you are a match, why do you need to come in person to see you first? They can see you virtually, right? Listen, y'all, whether it's a job interview or invitation or birthday party, whatever, when you get offers and something doesn't add up with the situation, pray about it at least. Talk with others about it. Because sometimes other people or outsiders can clearly see things that you don't see. Outsiders can pick things up that that are not visible towards you. Again, people getting along is a good thing. Just understand the following. This world where people operate in escapism and escalation, this world operates in violence, that alone means mental health is a luxury overall. That means that happiness is dimmed down in the world and fleeting. That means that unrest is common in the world. And that means that everywhere in the world, people are looking for outlets for unrest. So the hunt for victims is something worldwide then. It doesn't happen like in the ancient times. They would just gather together and lynch someone or throw someone off a cliff like they did in ancient Greece. No. We have a legal system, we have a criminal justice system, we have the police system. So we have a court system now. That's why, because of all of that, people do it in a more organized, ritual way to contain the violence of the public. Nevertheless, the harmful victim is still here. That's what mankind does. So society relies on you having no options and being at their mercy. That's the only way society can operate when you have no options but to be at the mercy of how other people feel about you. That's the only way you'll have no choice but to comply. And because everyone is under this pressure and on this threat of becoming the next victim, that's why people comply and society works. So if you gain actual leverage, not privilege, privilege is a societal allowance that they can take away from you. You have a nice job, you can be fired if you behave in a way people don't like, or if you have association people don't like. Uh, you have a business going well. It's only because the government and the public allows it. Because the moment you have political ideas, people can't stand, they may boycott you, your business go bankrupt, and all that. You have a property you inherited from your grandfather. Okay, if people really can't stand you, they'll either storm your property and kill you, or they will commit arson to burn everything down, risk going to prison, or they may come with some charge on you to convict you for some, or they will entrap you in some crime and then put you in prison and you will lose your property. So if you're not walking by faith in the resurrection power of Christ, the only thing you have are societal allowances that can be taken with you anytime and you can lose at any moment. Okay, that alone brings stress with it. That's why in the world, people have no problem with having a privilege. The privilege can be taken away anytime. But if you have leverage, it means now people have no choice but to get along with you. So if you obtain leverage and overall almost everyone around gets along with you, they're very kind towards you, very considerate, all of that, I'm telling you, it's too good to be true. People getting along with you, that part is not too good to be true. But the thing is, it's a situation. If all these people were believers, loving their Heavenly Father, and they get along with you, that's how it's supposed to be. Or if all these people were prospect believers and they were interested in learning about God, and if they got along with you like that, that's good. But how come if a lot of people who are against the Heavenly Father, who operate in darkness, operate in negativity, and you operate in the positive and you have a leverage financially, and they're also happy with you? That is not real, y'all. That getting along is a trap. The people just get along with you out of necessity and hope you let your guard down so they don't eventually get a hold on you. And now when they have hold on you, they will slowly break you down. So you're not going to a threat to the escape them anymore. That's what goes on. Or there's already an assassin in place hired by someone to take you out. Or they already have someone that will lie on you, lying that you sexual assault or raped or whatever, just to get you their reputation be destroyed or to get you convicted falsely in a courthouse, whatever. People getting along with you is a good thing. You should want people to get along with you. But listen, if people get along with you too well and they're not like you, all about abundance and doing the will of Heavenly Father, I'm telling you, even if these people don't have a bad intention towards you, them in this fallen, decaying state, getting along with you alone will compromise you. Remember, they are in a fallen, decaying state still. They're not born again nor redeemed. That means that demons have access towards them, and them getting along with you so well means that demons can use them as portals against you. So even if the people all around get along with you and they have no bad intention towards you, if their state of being is still in its fallen state, they're not doing the will of Heavenly Father, demons now can use them their involvement with you against you. So whether people really have bad intention towards you and they're faking being okay with you, or whether people have no bad intention at all towards you, but they're in the fallen decaying state still, in both cases, is a suspicious package. That getting along with you is a suspicious package, you all. That's what Jesus even said. Woe unto you when all men speak well of you. The same way that their ancestors did with the false prophets. Is there anything wrong with people speaking well of you? Absolutely not. People should speak well of you. People speaking well of you, people embracing you, welcoming you, and favoring you, that's all healthy, good. You have a better life because of it. Okay, let's say you can't pay rent, but you're good terms with the property manager. The property manager, because he's on good terms with you and really favors you, will say, you know what? You don't have to pay rent for the next 3 months. Just stay there for free. Afterwards, start paying a little. Or you can say, you know what? You're such a good influence in the neighborhood. I don't care about rent. I'll just live there because you have a good influence in the neighborhood. You being in the neighborhood, calms people down. You have a good influence, and we need that in the neighborhoods. Me and the police talked about it, so we agreed, no, let's live rent free. Just pretend like you're paying rent. Don't let any other tenants know about it, but you can be there for free. Your leverage now, your leverage in over the community that calms people down now causes the relationship to develop in which even the property manager realizes, you know what? If you leave this apartment complex, if you leave this place, likely your good influence will be gone, things will get worse. We don't want you. You know what? We actually need you around here, but you know what? We're coming to concede you too. You're gonna live rent free. You see what I mean? It could also be in a negative way. Let's say the property manager is cheating on his wife and you have the receipts. In this case, he can say, you know what, don't let my wife know. Yeah, but the rent's too high. You know what, don't pay rent at all. In this case, there's blackmail going on, which is actually punishable by law in most countries. But anyway, you get what I mean. When you have a leverage, the relationship you'll have will be in your advantage, whether people like it or not. Or what if people actually are good terms, actually like you, whatever, they may help you out more. So people favoring you, getting along with you, is a good thing. Let's say you need, let's say now you need to travel a lot by airplane. You know what I mean? Going back and forth between the United States and Brazil, for example. But the plane ticket's quite expensive. What if you have a good reputation and now the CEO of one of these Brazilian airlines knows about you and thinks, yo, aren't you that guy making those YouTube videos encouraging people? Listen, one of my nephews almost took his own life, but your videos actually motivate him again. Bro, I heard you have to come to Brazil often. Look, I'm the CEO of this airline over. You know what? This is what I'm about to do. I'm going to give an instruction to my staff that you are going to get a special code and that you can use on the website, a special discount code. Use this discount every time you book a flight to Brazil, back and forth. With this discount code, you don't have to pay anything. Someone like you should be welcome in our country. In this case, you just did something motivational for other people and helped someone out, and you had no idea the individual you helped out that you don't even know this individual exists. But the individual that was blessed by your influence happens to be a family member of a CEO. Of no, 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 you're not going to pay anything. We got you. You see what I mean? So having good reputation, all that will work in your favor even financially. So there's nothing wrong when people get along with you, favoring you. The question is, what is the context of favoring you? Because think about it. If people want to set you up and get rid of you, they'll favor you, share love bomb all of that, but it's really a good situation. Or what if people now who are damaged and psychologically unwell favor you? Now, as a result, they may expect things from you that you can't fulfill. So that's going to be a time bomb, so we'll lead to a lot of disappointment later on. What I'm saying is, people getting along with you is a great thing. You should decree it, also people getting along with you and all of that. You should enforce it. But understand, sometimes people getting along with you will harm you in the long run. Sometimes. So, if you see someone out there in the world and people in general get along with an individual, ask yourself one question. Why are they getting along with this individual? Ask yourself the question, why are they getting along with this individual over there? What's the real reason? Is it because it could be, for example, you have a guy that lives in a neighborhood. He has no job. He's on food stamps. Every time he shoplifts around. So you think to yourself, Donovan, why is the police not arresting this guy for shoplifting? Why is he going to jail? Guess what? This guy, his uncle, is the head of a cartel over there, a criminal cartel. And that cartel has a lot of weird members with guns ready to go crazy. And because that cartel has a sway in that area, even the police doesn't want a confrontation with that criminal cartel. So that is the leverage why this individual can be a bum on welfare and shoplift and he's left alone. Even some of the shops he was looting, tell me, yo, if you want some groceries, you don't have to pay, man. Take the groceries. They even offer groceries for free. And you think to yourself, who's this guy that he's shoplifting? And now instead of the shopkeepers calling the cops, even offering more loot at their own expense. Now you know why. Or let's say now you have an elderly lady. Everyone is okay with her. It could be this elderly lady is an actual witch that's been bewitching people over there. And some people are afraid for witchcraft. That's why so many people are okay with her. It could also be you have a young man somewhere, maybe 19 years young, and people get along with him. Why? Because he is good friends or good buddies with the chief of police over there. And because of that, everyone realized, okay, if we act out against this guy, the chief of police will hear about this, and that will be a better report for us. So let's comply. Maybe you have someone walking on this camera in public filming. And a lot of people really want to smash the camera out of his hand and beat him up, but realize, this guy is live streaming a lot, so he has followers over the world. If something bad happens to him during live streaming, we'll be on camera, and not only that, if he's so well known as a live streamer, that means also the authorities are aware of him. So if one day something bad happens to him, we're suspects, and our reputation will go down. So you know what? Let's calm down. It's not always that if people get along with someone, there's a bad motive behind it. No, sometimes it's gonna be a good motive, but sometimes people can get along with you. It's actually your quality kind individual that contributes to the people. So in this case, people get along with you for a good reason. But even then, what's the context? Always ask yourself the following question: why are people getting along with this individual? Ask yourself that question. Don't see people get along with individuals. Say, oh, people get along with him or with her, so that they must be a good person, or whatever. No, ask yourself why they get along with this individual. What's the real reason? Maybe you have an artist who's not even whose music sucks. He makes bad music, y'all, this artist, but still everyone keeps praising this artist, keeps getting along with him. Why? Because there are other more talented artists out there that people don't want to hear anything about. Let's say you have 10 artists in a city and they're all quality artists, but nobody wants to acknowledge their quality. So instead, everyone is praising this lazy artist here with bad quality music. Why? Just so that they don't have to deal with those other people that be hating and disliking. So let's say you have 10 musicians in a city that dislikes. You have this one poor musician, you have this one musician who plays music horribly. People will get along with that musician who plays music horribly just so they have to deal with the talent that they're ignoring. So that musician that plays music horribly, his fame is an allowance so that people have to deal with the actual talent amongst them. And celebrities like that out there. The only reason they're even famous is because the public doesn't want to deal with the actual people that they're suppressing. Always clear to you. So always ask the question, why are they getting along with this individual? And if you notice that the situation doesn't add up, pray about it, and where possible, stay away from that situation, as much as possible. If God puts on your heart to warn an individual indirectly, then do it. If not, don't even warn the individual, y'all. All right. Are there any questions about this topic? Just let me know in the live chat. Are there any questions about this topic? Just let me know. hmm God is good. So look, getting along with people, priority, important, relevant, absolutely. We've been told in the Testament, as far as depends on you, be at peace with all men. As far as depends on you. So going the extra mile to de-escalate all that is good. Just know, sometimes the Heavenly Father will not allow you to get along with certain people. Sometimes not even because it's people really hating on you secretly and all of that. Sometimes God is not allowing you to get along with some people because those people are so compromised that they would be around you too often. They would endanger you and your mission in the long run. Imagine you have people who are associated with a company that's and those people get along and they're promoting your content on social media. Now, if they're doing this out of their own volition because they like your product, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But if they're the only ones doing that, showing your stuff on social media all the time, and they are associated with a company suspect of human trafficking or money laundering, all of that, that criminal connection will be associated with you too, and now people are going to suspect you too. So now some of these people may want to share your products to promote you voluntarily on social media, but then Father is blocking them. So they talk to you about your product, they like your product, but they never promote you. And you think, why is people not promoting me? Why is people not even sharing my stuff online? They may want to, but God is not allowing it because them getting along with you like that may harm you in the long run. Sometimes people want to support you, but God is not allowing it because they're too compromised. And them being compromised like that will have a bad, harmful effect on you. So God is preserving you and protecting you. All this clear to you. Amen. I didn't get any questions. Well, thank you all for being here. Again, hit the like button and share this live stream. Please don't links below through PayPal. It's quicker for me. Thank you very much for your help, for helping out with this ministry. Very much appreciated. Again, if you want to book a session with me, a one-on-one consultation, check the fees and instructions in the description box below. I'll see you next live stream. And remember, stay alert and keep living with Christ.